Welcome to episode 10 of Mahabharata series. Vidur reached Panchal with the message of King Dhritarashtra for Yudhishthir. He shared the message in front of King Drupad and requested him to allow Yudhishthir to return with him. King of Panchal politely asked Yudhishthir to take the decision. Yudhishthir accepted the message and decided to return to Hastinapur with Draupadi, Kunti and other Pandav brothers. Vidur stayed for a few days in Panchal on request of King Drupad before their travel back to Hastinapur. Here in Hastinapur, Duryodhana was shocked to know about the wellness of Pandavas and he couldn't accept that his plan of killing Pandavas in the Wax Palace failed. He was restless as he was frightened of losing the position of Yuvraj which was given to him after the news of death of Pandavas spread. He met Shakuni and expressed his hopelessness. He was angry, he was sad, but certainly frustrated. At that time, Shakuni also couldn't convince Duryodhana. All the sugar-coated words of Shakuni were no less than keen arrows for Duryodhana. Finding no solution, Shakuni suggested to talk to Dhritarashtra. A father must have thought something for his son, he remarked. Devastated, Duryodhana visited his father and expressed his grief and worries. He said, "Father, now as the Pandavas know the truth of Wax Palace and survive the plot of their destruction, it has become evident for us to finish them before they reach Hastinapur. With their union with the princes of Panchal, they have become stronger than before. This very thought of their return to Hastinapur worries me a lot." Dhritarashtra understood what his son wanted to convey, as the jealousy of Duryodhana for Pandavas was never hidden. Dhritarashtra knew once Pandavas returned to Hastinapur, all courtiers would look for Yudhishthir becoming Yuvraj and eventually king of Hastinapur. Dhritarashtra then asked Duryodhana about his thoughts. "What do you want, O son?" said Dhritarashtra, seeing his worried son. "Yudhishthir is favorite of Vidur and grandfather Bhishma. They will always want him to be the future of Hastinapur. The citizens of Hastinapur had supported him before we sent them to Varnavad. Now, when the citizens will come to know about the wellness of Pandavas, a strong wave will come out in their support. I am unable to think how to stop the increasing popularity of Yudhishthir. I don't want to live under his blessings for my entire life. Oh father, you are my only hope. Do whatever deem fit, but don't give up this throne to Yudhishthir," said Duryodhana with crumbling voice. He wanted to cry victim and get support of his father. He knew whatever be the decision of Dhritarashtra, Yudhishthir would never argue on that. Dhritarashtra couldn't think of any reasonable solution to Duryodhana's obstinacy. He too didn't want Yudhishthir to win over his son. He then called for Bhishma and Guru Drona and asked their opinions. There was no doubt Bhishma wanted the throne to be given to Yudhishthir, but he sensed the unwillingness of Dhritarashtra. He then thought for a while and gave toughest opinion of his life. He said, "Ideally this throne belongs to Yudhishthir as he was crowned as heir apparent before going to Varnavad. But I know this will not be acceptable to your son and above all to you too." After the episode of fire in Palace of Varnavad, when it was assumed that Pandavas were dead, the crown of Yuvraj was given to Duryodhana. "I am not against anyone. All my grandsons are dear to me, and hence I don't want to take back the post which was given to Duryodhana. The only solution which I could find is to divide the kingdom into two halves. Give one portion to Pandavas and let the other half be with Duryodhana. Which part you want to give to whom is your decision." Dhritarashtra was relieved, finding solution to his problem. He made decision but didn't reveal which part of the kingdom he wished to give to Pandavas and which he wanted to retain for his sons. Few days later, Vidur returned with Pandavas. Krishna and Balram too came with them. As they walked into the dominion of Hastinapur, they were welcomed by ocean of jubilant citizens. The exuberant crowd thronged to catch a glimpse of their beloved princess and their wife Draupadi. They sang welcome songs, showered flowers, and sprinkled fragrant water to express their happiness. The large group of happy denizens escorted the Pandavas till the entrance of the palace. Pandavas were then welcomed by Gandhari and Kauravas. Bhishma was very happy seeing the Pandavas, especially Arjuna. Bhishma blessed the daughter-in-law of his dynasty, Draupadi, and gave her welcome gifts. Guru Drona and Kripa then came forward and showered their blessings too. At last, Pandavas went to the courtroom of Hastinapur, where they were welcomed by Dhritarashtra. All courtiers were excited and happy seeing Pandavas with Kunti and Draupadi, except Duryodhana. After all the meetings, Pandavas went back to their apartments. Next day, The meeting was called in the courtroom of Hastinapur, and Dhritarashtra was set to share his decision on the future king of Hastinapur. All Pandava and Kaurav brothers, along with elders, Krishna, Balram, and other courtiers were present. Amid those dignitaries, Dhritarashtra addressed Yudhishthir, you are epitome of dharma and righteousness. Wherever you rule, the kingdom will prosper. Pandu has made Hastinapur prosperous, and I know you will continue his legacy. My sons are wicked and arrogant. They don't listen to my advices, and thus I am left with no choice than to divide the dominion of Hastinapur into halves. Having full faith in your potential, I give you Khandavprasth. Go to Khandavprasth and make it your new capital. Our ancestors Pururva, Nahusha, Yayati, and others ruled from that place. Let it be your new capital. Dhritarashtra's decision was certainly coated with his blind love for his son, and hence he wanted to send the sons of his brother Pandu to the land which was left by his ancestors long back. That place was left in ruins, and there was no sign of habitation. It was clear partiality by Dhritarashtra, but Yudhishthir honored the decision of his uncle and decided to leave for Khandavprasth with his brothers and mother. Yudhishthir was then coronated as king of Khandavprasth. Pandavas with Draupadi, Kunti, Krishna, and Balram went to the new land given to them. They performed the rituals in presence of sages and then for months worked hard to convert the ruined city into a land of their dreams. Forts and palaces were built, barren land was converted to agriculture fitting land, and with lots of efforts and hard work, Khandavprasth was soon converted into a civilized land. They named their new capital as Indraprasth, as it was no less than the abode of Indra. Krishna and Balram stayed with them till Pandavas settled in Indraprasth. Soon the new city became the center of admiration and people started coming to settle in that new city. Brahmins became the teachers, Kshatriyas joined the army of Indraprasth, many traders entered in hope of new businesses and people from other groups found Indraprasth as their new abode. And Indraprasth grew in wealth and beauty under the leadership of Yudhishthira. This ends our today's episode. In next episode, we will listen about preparation of Rajsuya Yagya and backstory of birth of Draupadi and Yudhishthira. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Namo Namah.